How to make a pasta bake. Basically what it is it's pasta. So you've got penny there. So you need to cook it first. Okay, so boil it up till it's ready. And then you want a tomato sauce. How to make a tomato sauce? Well, you get a couple of onions and you grate the onions with the grater. And then you cook them with a little bit of garlic on the hob with some basil. You chop it up. I tend to tear the basil up, okay, with the fingers. You want to be fairly thorough if you do that. It's a bit difficult. Okay. And then you put the pasta, the cooked pasta, in the Pyrex dish. And then you pour the tomato sauce over the top. You can mix it in if you like. Personally, I like to put the sauce in and then the pasta. And then what you do is you grate some cheese, some nice cheddar cheese. And you put that on the top of the pasta. Now, obviously, I'm going to do all this and then show it to you before I put it in the oven. So grate the onions, tear up the basil, fry it with a little bit of olive oil, little bit of garlic paste. Once the onions are sort of glazed a little, tin of chopped tomatoes, cook it for a little while to get the flavour in, and then, as I say, you put it all together, whatever way you choose, into an oven dish. Grate some cheese, chuck it on the top, and you put it in the oven until it's brown on the top. Obviously, everything's cooked even before you put it in the oven. So you're really looking to brown it and keep an eye on it. 200, I would say, for about 20 minutes. Okay. So that's what grated onion looks like. You think chopping onions makes your eyes water. You should try grating them. So don't lean over it when you're doing it. I did actually grate it into the pan. I did chop the basil rather than tear it up. It's just easier. You can't grate all the onion because you're left with it. Otherwise, you end up grating your knuckles. And that's the garlic puree. Okay. So just do a couple of, squeeze out about 50 millimeters. That'll do you. And as I say, cook it until the onions are glazed. Put the chopped tomatoes in, and cook for a while until it looks good. That's what the onion looks like. I did actually squeeze out about 100 millimeters of garlic paste from that tube. And I would think about a tablespoon of olive oil in that. Okay. My rice pudding that I made earlier. See my other video. Okay, so I'm now going to put a tin of chopped tomatoes. A tin of chopped tomatoes. All that in. And then put it back on the hob. Stir it around. And let it cook for a bit. Okay. Now, at this stage, I'm going to put the pasta on as well to cook. Okay. So just a big saucepan, some hot water, cook the pasta. And as I say, it should all come together. There then. Okay. If you wanted to know how to cook pasta, what you do is you boil water in a kettle and then put the hob on and then wait till it's boiling again, okay, and then add the pasta. Now, as far as quantities are concerned, the dry pasta becomes about 4 times the volume once it's actually cooked. Okay, so you might want, if you're making a pasta bake, then obviously the bulk of your volume is going to be pasta and not the actual sauce. So bear that in mind. I'm trying to get out of telling you what quantities to use. I think you have to wing it really. So there you go. So cooking pasta. Boil a kettle. Bring the water back to the boil. Add the pasta. Okay, and make sure the pasta's covered. And then when it's finished, you want to drain it. Okay. So when it's cooked, take it to find out when it's cooked. You just fish a piece out and maybe run it under a cold tap and see if it's the right texture with your teeth. That's the tried and tested technique for cooking pasta. The other thing about cooking pasta is you really want to turn the heat down once it's going. This will bubble up and go over. You can hear it crackling as the water goes onto the hob. So the reason you boil the water first, of course, is to expedite things. It really is a slow process otherwise. So turn that down to about 3. You can just move it off the hob a bit, off that ring, okay, and then just let it carry on. That sauce is just about ready now. Okay, so I will mix it in with the pasta. My wife prefers that. As I said, I prefer the pasta on top of the sauce and the cheese on top of that. And if the pasta goes a bit crackly at the top as a result of not having sauce on it when it's in the oven baking, well, I like it like that. To check if the pasta's done, the best utensils are these things. Okay. So as I say, you just need to run it under the cold tap, or let it cool for a minute, and then try and eat it. Bite it if you don't want to eat it. Make sure it's okay. And just what I'm saying about the comparison with the size. Well, twice the volume. Okay, it's about the same length, isn't it? That's an uncooked one. That one needs a bit more. I'll just cook it a little bit longer. Yeah. Ouch. That's the tomato sauce, well and truly cooked now. Okay, so I've taken it off the heat. Those big bits of onion are the bits I've chopped up or failed to chop up. The bits of onion which are grated are obviously pretty much blended in now. So I'll mix that in with the pasta and the pasta's done. You can see that the cooked pasta is about 3 or 4 times the size as the uncooked pasta. And little dogs like uncooked pasta. It's nice and crunchy. Honey, big eyes. Big eyes. You can't see. There. So that's the pasta. Get the sauce in. Got a hand free, I could do it a bit better. Okay, so then mix it around or cover it. Get the grated cheese. Cheese already grated. On the top. Spread it around. If you do as I prefer, put the sauce on the bottom and then the pasta on the top, you want to be fairly careful to try and cover the pasta with cheese, otherwise it does. When you brown it up, you can tend to burn it. So even like this, if there's any bits sticking out, you really want to try and cover them. Yeah. Alright, what is that? Not too bad. Right, and then put it in the oven. Really wants to go, as you're browning it, top of oven is probably better. You could even probably grill it. Be careful not to burn your fingers. So as I say, 200 for about, I'll give it 20 minutes. Yeah? Let's see how we get on with that. And I'll show you when it's done. Pasta bake straight out of the oven. You can hear it fizzing. Okay, so cheap as chips, pasta, onions, and tin of chopped tomatoes. That's the main ingredients. The basil, you can probably use other herbs, or you can use the powdered basil herbs that you can get in Sainsbury's, just in a little tub. Garlic, you can use proper garlic rather than the garlic paste. Cheese, you don't have to use cheddar. Cheddar's a bit tastier in my opinion, but it's fine. Use some other. So very, very cheap meal. Okay, cooks in the oven. Main cost, I think, is probably electricity. Thank you.